Welcome back to The Watch. And guess what, Shad?
What is it?
The MCU. They've announced a new Fantastic Four.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. Because the
thrilled.
last one was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm so thrilled.
And they're going to make another one with a new cast, with new people. This is, what phase are we to now in MCU? Like phase 4, phase 5, 6, 7?
Phase dead.
Well, this is the next phase.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, right? I think this is such a mistake because no film studio has been able to handle the Fantastic Four right. Do them well. The best ones arguably were the first ones.
The first ones, yes.
And then it got worse from there. But the first ones were not good, in my opinion.
See, I watched them growing up as a child, and so I enjoyed it. And I read some of the comics, actually, because of the movie, so I'm a fan of Fantastic Four. But yes, the more recent adaptations have not been good.
And so Marvel is in its worst state ever, both financially but also creatively.
Yes.
They have the worst people working for them in being able to just make good films, to understand the dynamics of the characters and even just effects and everything like that, right? And it seems like Fantastic Four, from my perspective, is one of those harder properties to figure out and do well on the big screen. And Marvel in its current state is going to try that. It is... Oh, it does not look good.
10 years ago, would have given them a chance.
Yeah, like in Marvel in its prime when,
I would have had
Civil
some
War
faith.
was coming out and they were making good stuff.
That would have been the peak time to do it, but
Yes.
now, no. But they've released the cast listing now.
Well, this is the other sign that is going to be disastrous because this cast, to me, looks awful. Like this is my complaints about my old school style of complaining of casting because they haven't like drastically race changed or anything for diversity's sake or anything and by the way, like sometimes it can be done right. I think we mention this all the time, and the only reason why I'm forced to mention it is because stupid people try and attack us about
Because they always bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. And Nick Fury, I think that was a really logical kind of change, and also the Kingpin in the original Daredevil. The key thing that you want to do when you're depicting characters, those core visual identifying things. And so with Sue Storm, her blonde, she's a blonde, right? That's really visually distinctive. With Nick Fury, it's the eye patch, right? And so sometimes you can change things and do it. I really hate it when the only reason they change it is just because of an agenda. Okay? In fact, if... there is so much overrepresentation of minority groups in Hollywood films and productions now that it's been skewed, and people who are not part of minority groups are getting less roles and everything like that, where there are so many roles for minority groups that there's not enough to fill percentage-wise, and so they're overfilling it. At the point when a lot of people are missing out. The whole diversity, equity, inclusion thing is just racism in reverse, right? And so when we see that, red flag. That's not really here, except maybe Mr. Fantastic. So here is the cast, right? None of them, for me, feels like they match the character at all.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal, to me, is the new Chris Pratt for voice acting. Like, I liked him in Mandalorian, but I also liked the fact that I didn't see his face. He just had the voice that was grunty about it. But I've seen him in so much.
They're trying to force him in everything.
And he appears all the time. And I get his agent is probably just, getting all these offers. But, like... This is the other thing with casting, right? I actually like seeing lesser known actors or new upcoming actors, because once I see named ones be characters like Mr. Fantastic, I'm not going to see Mr. Fantastic. I'm going to see Pedro Pascal in a blue jumpsuit, basically.
The first casting for Mr. Fantastic, I forget his name, but I actually like the actor. I thought that was perfect.
It was good.
Yeah, and then the fan casting for Mr. Fantastic, who they had the cameo appear in Multiverse of Madness, forget the name. I like him as an actor too. He's in The Office, right? Perfect casting for Mr. Fantastic. Pedro Pascal? To me, his accent, his look, like he is so not matching the role. Like I think Denzel Washington would suit Mr. Fantastic more than Pedro Pascal, right? Because Mr. Fantastic he needs like this type of seriousness, bookishness, nerdiness, right? And maybe not Denzel, but like I could even accept a black actor that has that bookishness. Those are the key identifying things, but also the whiteness on the temples, right? For Mr. Fantastic, right? Pedro Pascal, to me, this is such an awful casting for him. And then we get to I don't know the actress for Sue Storm. What's her name? It's Vanessa Kirby.
Yep.
She's blonde, but she looks too old for the role in my mind. Sue Storm has always been pretty.
I don't know. Maybe it's just this picture. The
She's
makeup.
handsome, but I don't like. To me, that doesn't strike me like Sue Storm.
I don't have an opinion.
You don't have an opinion on it?
No, because I haven't seen it in other things either.
I don't know what her acting is, but I'm going purely visually. Because look, you want the character when you see the actor or actress, whatever, you want to instantly think that's the character.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, another example where they were able to, have a different kind of color skin for the character. But when I saw this actor in their outfit, I instantly identified that was the character. Before I recognized, terrible show, it was the Cowboy Bebop reboot. Okay, Jet. They cast a black actor in there. I identified the image when I first saw it as Cowboy Bebop by Jet. I didn't recognize Spike or Faye because Faye wasn't even wearing her outfit. He was like, "Hey, that's Jet," and I actually forgot that he was white. He looked so much like Jet
because he embodied the character so well.
He embodied the character. Okay. To me, she like this from this picture. It's only one picture, I guess I've seen, but that does not embody the character. Now, when I look at the other two, Ben Grimm is going to be a rock monster. So
it doesn't really
matter. All right, but Johnny Storm is supposed to be a blonde, isn't he? Yeah, he is a blonde, and I'm assuming it's the younger guy. That's
because aren't they siblings?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like Johnny Storm to me either. Like if I was like, are they going to, I don't know, dye his hair or something like that?
Maybe. I mean, he looks young enough for the role.
Maybe he is probably the one who, give him the makeup and everything, could suit the role most out of them all. But even him, I don't think is a good casting. Like none of Ben Grimm is the anomaly because you can't really judge it on that. I need to hear his voice to really feel if he suits the thing. But to me, this is just an awful casting round. This is the thing with casting. Actors, actresses, they can always prove us wrong, okay? I can't remember what I felt about Ben Affleck, but I think I got on board pretty quickly. I was like, yeah, I think he could do it. But it's better when you hear a casting and you're like, that's it.
Yes.
Perfect, right? None of that with this. To me, this is just...
Casting hasn't been good recently. Because recently they had a trailer for the Wicked musical that came out. And my wife, who loves it, just put the video down, was like, I do not want to watch this because the casting here does not match the characters that we know and love. And look, like you said, they could prove us wrong here, but like Pedro Pascal, I loved your first mate, but you're getting
not
really annoying.
Mr. Fantastic at all.
And I'm also just not looking, because apparently it's set in the 60s as well, before all the other MCU stuff. They're going back in time. Okay, that's news to Shad.
That's going to mess up so much continuity.
And the director did WandaVision.
This is dead on arrival. I have no hope for this at all. Not only that, it's just another Marvel thing in its current state. Yeah. There's so many red flags with this. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We admit it when we're wrong. But this is looking apocalyptic.
This is before any trailer or news of the story has dropped. So, but I reckon when we get a trailer, we'll both react vividly to whatever they're deciding to do.
We'll have to see and find out. What do you guys think? Do you like the casting? Do you not like the casting? What do you think is going to happen with that Fantastic Four going forward?
I think it's cursed.
You think?
I think it's cursed.
It's a cursed property.
Yeah. Well, because I remember stuff with Silver Surfer was happening in the comics. They wanted to make Silver Surfer a woman or something. Right. So I reckon we'll get like a sequel, Fantastic Four, and then they'll do that. There's just a lot of things you can ruin with Fantastic Four.
Marvel is such a dead brand right now. They're floundering so terribly. And now that this is going to be disconnected from the main Marvel, are they doing it because that might redeem it somewhat, that it's not relying on the other thing, but it's not going to fit the continuity then?
The assumption is they'll have a movie in the 60s with their powers. They'll do a Captain America thing where they get frozen in time and then awesome amount of time travel to the future. Do one of those things. But
if it's based in the past, I wonder if it like... Imagine this was really, really good, right? That they would use that as the reboot.
Maybe.
That wouldn't be a terrible idea. reboot the whole MCU in the 60s era kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I actually think a lot of superheroes suit the past more than the modern day.
They do.
I'm even working on a graphic novel project where the superheroes are based in the 1910s, like way back, because the superheroes came about a bit later than 1910, but, pre-World War II, right? And they suit that era because that's where the birth came from. Just trying to give Marvel good ideas here, but...
Just free stuff, they're not going to take it, but...
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Let us know what you guys think in the comments below, but we'll keep a watch on this because, hey, that's what we do. Stay on watch.